So here's our Valor remote control. Right now the fireplace is completely off, and before we can turn it on, we have to first light the pilot light.
Okay.
Now to light the pilot light, we have to press two buttons at the same time. So I'm not going to press anything, I'm just going to show you before I press anything. But we've got this little red dot, and it says off underneath it. This is our off button. This is the button that turns the fireplace on, or shuts the fireplace off. Whenever this button gets pressed, everything shuts off, including the pilot light. Coming off this red dot, you'll see a white line, a star, and another white line coming to the top right button. Basically telling us that if we press these two buttons at the same time, it's going to start our pilot lighting sequence. I would recommend using your two thumbs than trying to use two fingers from the same hand. When we press these two buttons at the same time, we are going to press and hold them firmly for 1 second and then let go. When we let go, we want to hear a series of beeps coming from the fireplace. If we press the buttons and let go and we do not hear a series of beeps, we probably slightly pressed one button before the other or didn't press and hold firmly for 1 second. In the case of not hearing the beeps, we would want to wait 90 seconds and then try again. The reason why we're waiting 90 seconds is because anytime the off button gets pressed, the fireplace will go into a 90-second lockout. So if we press the off button slightly before the top right button, you're not going to hear the beeps. It's going to go into the lockout, and you'll have to wait 90 seconds before you can turn it on again. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to press these two buttons firmly for 1 second. Let go. We hear the beeping coming from the fireplace. Shortly after we hear this little series of beeps, we're going to hear a little click or a clunk. It just went. That was lighting the spark that lit the pilot light. Then the fireplace will be real quiet for a few seconds. And if it's real quiet, sometimes we can hear the servo motor kick in, and then our flames will turn on. So they should be turning on any second now. There they go. I hear the servo motor. So there's the flames came on. Now that the flames are on, anytime you turn this on, it hasn't been on for a while, when you first turn it on, the inside of the glass is going to fog up like the fireplace is doing right now. Turn it on, glass gets foggy. Within 3 to 5 minutes, this condensation will dissipate and then the glass will be clear again. Anytime you turn it on and it fogs up like this, it's good to leave it on until all the condensation has gone away. Otherwise, if you shut it off with it fogged up, it's going to dry the condensation and it's going to start to leave watermarks on the inside of the glass. So now that it's on, down here it tells us what mode we're in. So it says man, which means manual mode. Manual mode means that we've turned the fireplace on and now it's going to run continuously, getting the room hotter and hotter and hotter until you decide I don't want this on anymore and you hit the off button to shut it off. Or if it's in manual mode and runs for 6 hours, it thinks that you've left it on accident and shuts the flames off. While you're in manual mode, you can use these two buttons here. One's next to a big flame, one's next to a small flame, to raise the flames up or lower the flames down. You use these buttons by pressing and holding them or by tapping them. When we press and hold them or tap them, if it's quiet, we'll hear the servo motor on the fireplace making adjustments. So right now the flames are on high, so if I press the down flame, you'll hear the servo motor, the flames start to go down. At any point I can take my finger off the button and the flames will stop wherever we let go of the button. Press the up button, we're going to turn those flames back up. So here on the screen, it's going to tell us the temperature of the room. Right now it's 82 degrees. It's going to tell us the time of day. It's going to tell us the battery life of the 9-volt battery that's inside the fireplace. So daylight savings has come since we've been here. So I'm going to fix the clock real quick. To do that, you press and hold these two buttons right here. That number starts to flash. I'm going to go ahead and hit that one time. Now we're at the correct time. I'm going to let that continue to flash. It's going to flash for 8 to 10 seconds. When it stops flashing, it's going to divert back to the room temperature on the screen. And then the time will be set correctly now. So now we got the right time on there. And then down here at the bottom where it says man, this is where it's always going to display what mode we're in. And this set button right here changes the mode of the fireplace. So right now we're in manual mode. So say we want to turn our fan on. The way this fan works is if we have the fan in an on position, after this fireplace has been on for about 5 minutes, the fan will come on by itself. Right now I have the fan in an off position, so it won't come on by itself. So I'm going to turn the fan on by taking this set button and pressing it once. We go into daytime temperature mode. We press it again. We go to this light bulb. We're going to disregard that. We press it again. We come to this fan. We're going to come here. We're going to hit this up button. That's going to turn the fan on. So at any time, if you ever want, so once you kind of find a setting on the fan that you like, you can just leave it on that. There's 4 settings, low, low medium, medium high, and high. Once you kind of find what setting you like, if you just want to leave it there, when you turn this on, 5 minutes later the fan will come on by itself. When you shut it off, the flames go off, and about 5 minutes later the fan will shut off. So if you want to, so you can just run it like that, but if you want to change the speed, you just hit the set button until you get to the fan.
Okay.
So right now we're on low. You see there's 1 bar filled in. If I press up, it's going to get a little bit louder. Press it again. A little bit louder. Press it again. Blazing Inferno.
Okay.
So maybe we'll just leave it on medium for now.
Okay.
And we'll let that glass on that fireplace clear off the rest of the way, and then we'll just shut everything down so we're not heating you out on this 100-degree day.
Okay. And
any other questions?
Run through the other settings.
Other functions. Okay, so that was
manual.
So we have manual mode. If we press this once, we go from manual to daytime temperature mode. This is our thermostat mode.
Yeah.
Say we want to heat the room and have the remote be our mobile thermostat.
Right.
If we go here and press and hold the set button for 2 seconds, the number at the top starts to flash. While it's flashing, we can use the up and down arrow to pick a desired temperature. Say we wanted to heat our room to 71 degrees.
Right.
We dial that to 71, and then we're going to let it continue to flash.
Okay.
It's going to flash for 8 to 10 seconds. When it stops flashing, it will divert back to the room temperature, and it will set itself for 71 degrees.
Okay.
So right now we're at 84. It's already sensed that it shouldn't be on. It shut itself off.
Okay.
So now if the remote control were to drop down below 71 degrees, the fireplace would turn on. Right. It would then run until the remote control reaches 71 degrees. So depending on where you have this placed, you want to keep this within 20 feet of the fireplace and in view of the fireplace while you're in thermostat mode. Okay. And in thermostat mode, the fireplace will modulate itself, raising and lowering the flames gradually to keep the room at the desired temperature.
Okay.
Hit the set button again. We go to the light bulb. Disregard that. Fan, that's how we adjust the fan. Press it again. We go to nighttime temperature mode or nighttime thermostat. This mode works exactly the same as daytime temperature mode.
Okay.
If you want to pick a desired temperature, press and hold the set button for 2 seconds. The number at the top starts to flash.
Okay.
While it's flashing, we pick a desired temperature. Maybe we go 60 degrees.
Okay.
Flashes for 8 to 10 seconds. When it stops flashing, diverts to back to the home screen with our room temperature, and now it's set for 60 degrees.
Okay.
Now they call one daytime temperature mode and they call one nighttime temperature mode. Just because they call it day doesn't mean you can only use it in the day, and just because they call it night doesn't mean you can only use it in the night.
Yep.
I think they should have just called it 1 and 2. You got 2 temperature modes, set them to whatever you want and use them whenever you want. Okay. Once you've set them to a desired temperature, they stay programmed at that temperature. So right now we put daytime temperature mode at 71 degrees and nighttime at 60. If you woke up tomorrow morning and wanted to heat your house to 60 degrees, put it in nighttime temperature mode. It'll heat your room to 60 degrees. If you want to heat it to 71 degrees, put it into daytime temperature mode. It'll heat your room to 71 degrees.
Okay.
Hit the set button again, and you're going to go into timer mode. If you want to use this timer mode, you're going to want to read the directions. It goes over step by step on how to program this. You can have this go on and off at certain times during the day if you want it to.
Okay.
Press it again. We're back to manual mode.
Okay.
And since we haven't hit off, our pilot light's still going.
Right.
So if we want to turn it back on, all we have to do is press and hold the up flame.
Okay.
It'll take a couple seconds. The flames will come on. And we just want to let this run for probably about 2 more minutes to get the little bit of condensation that's left on that glass off.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to shut it down.
Okay.
Those are the ins and outs on this remote.
Okay.